Maureen. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1 Million by 1 Million, as you know, is the first and only global virtual incubator and accelerator to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion in global GDP, and 10 million jobs. Now, that mission can only be successful if you, the entrepreneurs, are successful. That's the whole justification for our existence, is to make you successful. So here we are. This is our 253rd free public mentoring session. And it's really been a privilege working with so many of you from so many different parts of the world, and really, having an opportunity to feel the pulse of entrepreneurship around the globe for such a long time across so many sessions. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for utilizing the program and the forum, and it's really been a fabulous experience working with you all. The event is being recorded. You will have the recording available both on our blog as well as on the YouTube channel. If you are live tweeting the show today, please use hashtag 1M1M. And our Twitter handles are at 1M by 1M, and mine is at Romana. I strongly encourage you to follow these handles. We push a tremendous amount of high-quality content through these channels to help you, again, stay on the ball and, constantly have your finger on the pulse of entrepreneurship around the world. So that's what we are doing. That's what we are hopefully empowering you to do. And that's what all our social media activities are all about. So if you go to the YouTube channel, which is 1M1M Roundtable, you will find recordings of all prior sessions. So these are very high-quality sessions, and they are worth listening to. If you haven't, they are definitely worth following, even if you're not present at the live sessions. Hopefully you can make some live sessions, but also catch up with some of the ones you've missed at the YouTube channel. Okay, we have, I believe, 5 presenters today, and then we have, depending on how much time we have, we will open the line for Q&A. And I will put this slide back up again so you have access to the phone number and the call-in instructions. But we are not quite ready for that yet. We're going to start today with Subhashish Acharya, who's going to talk about Project Starfish. Subhashish, if you could please unmute your line and tell us what you're doing, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Shravana. My name is Subhashish Acharya, and as you can see from the slide, I'm based out of the Boston area. It's pretty snowy. Spring is not yet there, but we are trying to get the best that we can in Boston. So thank you very much.
Still winter, yes?
Yes, it's still winter. And you've been here, Shravana, so you absolutely know.
I have suffered that winter for many years.
Yes, so thank you. So Project Starfish, I'll explain what it is. We're trying to build a human big data research machine, and I'm going to explain, the philosophy, what we're trying to do, where we have been so far, and where we are heading forward. So, Shramna, can I get the next slide? Thank you. So I want to quickly explain to you a problem. So we had a Harvard fellow reach out to us at Project Starfish, and she said, Subhashish, I have to launch a device in India, but I need a huge amount of marketing analysis. I don't have money. I don't have time. Now, these are the typical problems that every startup, emerging company faces. Now, so what I want to explain to you today is that in a knowledge economy, there's a huge need for information. If you want to engage with customers, there's a huge need for information. But then there's also, a catch-22, which is you have little money and research is a serial process, so it's a time suck. So how can you get And researching is important because if you don't have the information, how can you engage with customers, right? So therein lies the biggest problem, and this is not just for a Harvard startup. It's for everybody across the board, millions of companies, and even corporates as well. So I'll go to the next slide, Shamana, and I'm going to explain how we solved the problem. So what we did is we have people across different countries. Some of them are based out in the US, some are in India, some are in Australia, some are in UK. So what we did is we took the complete research project and then we sliced it up. A project manager sliced it up and they gave it to people around the globe. So while the US was working, India was not working, they were asleep. And when the US, kind of calmed down and and they were having their night sleep, Australia and India was working. So what happens is work started happening around the sun, which means, around the clock. So what happened is execution happened in parallel, like a distributed, processing machine. And we could actually get the work done in just that amount of money, which is not very much. And the second point is we could do it at a much lesser time just by using this distributed, human big data research kind of a model. Now, we found out there was a tangible business value, which is we could deliver, we could create business impact, and work could be done. Now, I want to go to the next slide, Shamana, if you can. So what was interesting is that you can see the people out here, and since I don't have an animation, all these people who did the research are all blind professionals. So Amanda Heal, she's based out of Australia. She was a lawyer for 17 years. Amanda Berkeley in Texas, she's an MBA. Ricardo in New York. Naveen, a 20 years marine engineer out in India. And then Catherine, she's a master's in science out in UK. They're all blind. In my organization, except me and my wife, everybody is blind or visually impaired or severely disabled. So let me explain to you what Project Starfish is. Shamana, can I go to the next slide? So before I even talk about Project Starfish, I want to just let you know how blind professionals or disabled professionals could do this kind of a research. You see, technology changes the game. Why is that? Because blind people don't see, but they hear. So there are screen readers which I present, which reads out what is on the screen. And it, trust me, everyone, it reads out at 500 words per minute, 600 words per minute. Our guys are so educated, they are qualified, and websites are becoming accessible. So it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable that that it opens doors to new opportunities. Most of you perhaps know, may not know, but 80% of blind professionals in the country is unemployed. Imagine the places like in India, imagine, Africa, where 99.99%, people are not really employed. So now, can we design a model which creates that social impact? It creates the opportunities. It creates, employment. It provides human dignity, and then results in business impact and social impact. So I'm a social entrepreneur, but I view the world differently. I want to create thousands of jobs for blind people or visually impaired or severely disabled people who don't get a chance. And also, I have to ensure that it's sustainable, not a charity model, but it is based on business value. So we have actually worked with 45 customers in 11 countries. Everything is virtual. People use their own laptop, own internet connection, own phone. We have trained over 70 people in about 8 countries. We have invested about $500, not really much. And because it's a direct model, we have created won $20,000, about 300 small jobs for our guys. So the model works in a very simple manner. We train. So after my day job, I kind of have a couple of friends of mine, and we teach blind professionals globally. We join through phone lines, which are free, or through Skype. And then we create a virtual workforce. And we take the virtual workforce and share it among, small businesses, startups, emerging businesses who need a lot of help, right? They need to execute. So the result is that when we share a workforce, work gets done at a lower cost because cost of acquisition goes down. That's how sharing happens, right? Look at Airbnb. Look at Zipcar, for example. It's all based on sharing resources. So why not sharing workforce? Okay, by this model, it creates opportunities for blind professionals who would have never had a chance, and it's not built out of charity. It's built on business value, where businesses also get what they wanted, which is more hands to execute. So, Shamana, can I go to the next slide?
Are you disclosing to the customers that your workforce is blind?
100%. What's there not to disclose, right?
And what is the profile of these customers?
So it depends. Out of the 45 companies, we have worked with all the businesses are contemporary. Most people think like blind people just go to small sheltered workshops. Over here, our businesses are contemporary. We have worked with telecom companies in Israel. We have worked with employment companies in Australia. We have worked with, startups in India. We have worked with, let's say, video game companies for marketing. We have worked with, startups who have like, say, e-readers that they're coming up and they need a lot of research. Everything is very contemporary, Shramana.
Fascinating. All right, Subhashish, your time is running out. Can you go to the questions and tell me what we can help you with? What is it that you're trying to address at this point?
So what we're trying to address is, I think there's a huge need in the industry. What we believe is that we can create the human and the social impact and the business impact by using this model. How we want to make this happen is that we can go to corporates, for example, and we can ask them about their business needs of research, which we can get done. They can invest in the workforce development through a 501c3 corporation to build a workforce which is good for their corporate social responsibility. On the other hand, the workforce goes and works for them. It's a different model that creates jobs. It's a different model that also.
Remember, this is a mentoring session, right? So what is it? What is it that you need help with?
So I think what I need help with is, do you think the model is good? So that's point number one. Point number two is, how do you think we should be approaching corporates? That's point number two. Point number three is, what do you think are the critical parameters that I need to know, maybe on the legal front and while scaling up the organization?
All right, so what do I think of what you're doing? I think it's fascinating. I'm impressed that you've been able to get 45 clients, and you've obviously been able to identify types of jobs that these kinds of people with these impairments can actually deliver. So that's interesting. Obviously, you're doing something noble, something that's changing lives in a very significant way. So congratulations on all that. That's really fascinating and wonderful. Now, obviously, when it comes to actually scaling a business like this, there are lots of limitations. One is you need customers who are willing to give you projects to and buy into this, proposition of working with blind professionals and accept that you're going to be able to deliver high quality work in the domains that you're pitching. So my recommendation in terms of scaling would be to really identify the types of jobs that these kinds of people can actually successfully execute on, and only sell those types of projects to your customer base. And if that, you have 45 customers, so it's presumably you have evidence, you have case studies, you have testimonials and so forth, and you're offering a significantly below market price because of the nature of your workforce, I think that's within reason. I would say that is something that people may embrace. Now, legal stuff we don't advise on. That's not our area. What was your other question, the last one? I missed it.
I think it was the second one, which is, how do you think we can actually approach corporates? Who do you think we should be approaching? Where do you think you see the win-win with, big companies as well?
The way you approach corporates is to, the jobs that you have identified, the tasks that you've identified are that these people can do. You have to approach corporates with those tasks, that this is what we can do for you and this is the price at which we can do this. Now, in a way, I think your strategy of working with small companies is actually very good. Conceivably, you could also put yourselves on the services exchanges like Odesk, Elance, Freelancer.com, and against those types of tasks, and then really outbid everybody on the price. That gives you a very systematic way of getting those projects, and then if you can offer a significantly better price than everything else out there, you're going to win those projects. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, it does. Do I still have time to ask questions, or is that the,
you may, but you have to wait. We're going to go through more presentations. At the end of the session, we will come back and do Q&A again, and we can, if there's time, we can continue that. Next is Dharmanandan Sai. Dharma is what he goes by. Okay, Dharma, please unmute your line and tell us what you're working on.
Hi, Ramana. Morning, and Maureen, thanks for setting up this as well. I know my name is quite long, so just call me Dharma. Just a fast one. What I did before my experience, all that, I used to work for enterprise solution companies like Oracle, Exact, and I also have used SAP and all that. For past 2 years, I've been working for a startup company called Finance Outsource, mainly on chartered accounting and all that, and using cloud system. Next slide, please. Yeah. So all these years I've been working with enterprise solutions, and I was thinking I want to build something my own with what I've learned all these years. So there's a lot of ERP solutions available in the market, so I don't want to compete with anybody out there. But there's a significant HR solution with good functions are not available in the market. Even though if it's available, the price is just too high, and it's only catered for I would say the tier 1 of the market, global market, which will be the Fortune 500 companies, but not the small or medium-sized companies or even startups. So, so I did a research and I came up with a master plan and an IGER and a wireframe. I did my analysis on the competitor analysis and listing. All this started because one of my ex-clients, who is a public listed company in Malaysia, they're actually using a SAP HR system, and they have about 160 employees, but they only managed to buy 10 licenses from SAP because each license costs about 200 to 300,000 US dollars, and all the other employees. I mean, simple lease application is still being done by paper. So when I spoke to them, I told them, like, let me come up with a system that, which you don't have to change the SAP HR system to my system, but it will enhance it by just subscribing to mine. Means you can now you can actually roll out the employee system or the lease application at least to all your employees. So you don't have to print out, you don't have to, they don't have to do a manual lease application, so on and so forth. On the other hand, also like payslips, so they don't have to receive a physical payslip. They can have an online payslip through their they can view it through their mobile or through their web portal. So that was the idea started on. So basically, this competitor listing is just overall what's actually in the market, and we actually, what I came up with the cloud function is much more, I would say, much more what I want to intend to do actually. Next slide, please.
So Dharma, before we go to the next slide, a bit of feedback here. Your competitive analysis is not complete. There are numerous small HR solutions. We even have at least one company in the 1M1M program that has an HR solution that is, quite a comprehensive HR solution and much better price than the ones that you are trying to compete against. And then there are others. So my suggestion is that you first and foremost, you need to do a more thorough competitive analysis, because we don't recommend people going into very crowded markets, and HR software is a very crowded market.
Okay, noted. Okay, noted that. Yeah, sure. Noted. There's one of my questions as well. I wanted to ask you at the end of the slide if I've done enough research or not. So this slide, what is explained is what's available in the global market and what is the most function available. What's the most available function in the market by all the competitors, and what is the least function available. So if you can see, like performance review is the least, or even payslip viewable is the least. Mainly, you will see calendar, contacts, timesheet, workflow. That's common. So as a HR, you still have to provide all the basics, but you still want to provide something different compared to what in the market as well. Next slide, please.
Again, Dharma, that's not an accurate conclusion. I don't know what research is your conclusions are based on, but Success Factors, the product that SAP acquired for a lot of money, very, very large amount of money, billions, is a product that has plenty of performance review. Taleo has plenty of performance review that sits in the Oracle portfolio now. So all of these, Workday, they all have performance review capabilities. So, and even the smaller products, many have performance review capabilities. So I don't think that is an accurate conclusion.
Okay, okay. What I plan on the performance review is the normal one that exists is you can do it through web portal. So basically, your HR manager or your manager will send in a performance review to the subordinate or employee, and you have to go through your web portal to either answer questions and then review back. What I've come up with is actually you do a performance review answering session through your mobile app. So that actually
those are questions. I think there is a huge amount of enterprise application mobilization going on right now. So all that is that's just a user interface issue. Getting into the HR market right now, I would caution you severely against. And
okay.
I think if you really do comprehensive research, you will see why I'm saying that. It's a very crowded marketplace.
Sure.
Very, very expensive to build it.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay, why? Okay, let me just, the earlier slide, please. One slide earlier. Yeah, why HR, I would say, is different is as an HR system. So, for example, the client that I'm working with as an industry input, they already have a HR system, so they don't have to change anything. So because they already spend millions of dollars on it, but they want to enhance it for the rest of their employees. So I'm creating something that it will integrate with existing system, and also it will work with as a full-on HR system. So that's a two-market strategy. So we don't want to.
I actually think that is a better strategy. If you're doing integration of other people's HR systems and perhaps enhancements on other people's HR systems on functionality that they're lacking or are looking for, that there is a business. I think that's a business that, again, there are players in that space, but I think you would have more success there than trying to push a new HR system.
Okay, noted. I mean, that actually came up because I do have one client, like I said, a public listed, so they want to enhance the system. So I'm trying to work with them on the first leg. So yeah, so sorry. So so next, these are the target customers that we are actually working on. Public listed companies, the two main HR systems. So we want to go and approach them saying that, you can now give more HR functionality to all your employees, rather than, because I'm pretty sure that they only spend few license, they purchase few license for the top management. But in a normal practice in Asia, it's pretty expensive to actually roll out SAP HR or PeopleSoft to the entire workforce in a company. It's pretty expensive. So enhancement to it is a cheaper, or it still have good functions, and it costs cheaper for them to roll out in that case.
One thing, if you like, we could do is introduce you to a company in our portfolio that has a very comprehensive cloud-based HR system, and if you want to kind of do a deal with them and sell it and integrate it in Malaysia, you can do that. Building and introducing a new system today in any of these markets, I would recommend against. But you do your research and drive your own conclusion. But and then in terms of target customers, you're going to need to decide on where you're going to. If you're selling to enterprises, that's a very different business. SME sales is a very different business. You have to decide on where you're going to position your business, and that's a critical decision.
Okay, sure. So yeah, so currently that I'm working with now, and I'm getting industrial input while I'm creating their minimal viable product. Is a beer brewery company in Malaysia. This is a public listed company in Malaysia. So they have about 150 employees, and they use SAP HR system. And during my trip last year in November, I went to Jakarta for Startup Asia, and I did few pitch over there. And one of the Silicon Valley managing partner, he just wanted to have the performance review functions for his own company. So I'm working with him as well on the performance review side. On the input side, so I'm just getting more input that how they feel that the function should provide to the market, and also I'm working with another. It's basically the largest budget airline company in Asia, so they have about 20,000 employees. So I'm working with them to see because I have about 12 functions. So not all the companies would want all the 12 functions, and they will just want, I just want lead application, or I just want this, but they will have their own processes. So I'm just getting this input, and then I'll make a decision what's the best process that I can roll out generally to all the clients I'm working. I did speak to quite a number of payroll outsourcing companies. So in Malaysia, they have one. Quite a big one in Malaysia. So they actually provide their outsourcing services to all the companies, which they require a HR system for themselves to provide to their clients. So this is the company that I'm working with now, and I'm trying to develop the minimal viable product. Next slide, please. Based on the target market, I would say this is the market that I would like to launch as a product on a sequence. So first is Malaysia, because the current target or the interested customers are all in Malaysia. The next one, why UK is the startup that I'm actually in, Finance Outsource. It's a cloud-based ERP system, and we have the APAC licensing for that. And they also provide an app center for third-party providers who can actually build anything to integrate with their financial system. So for now, they don't have any HR third-party solutions in their app. So that's the second market I'm going to. And then, I mean, depends on their progress and the feedback. Then I would go for the following markets in future. Next slide, please. So currently, I have one user designer and 2 developers. So whatever we are building now is actually self-funded. And our aim is to come out with their product by June, the minimal viable product. And then once that's done, and then we will show that to our interested clients. And then if it's workable, then we will roll out as a live version. I think that's the last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Is there another slide?
Okay, well, looks like I've already given you feedback as we were talking, so I don't have any other additional feedback. If you have any questions, I'll take your questions, but we also are kind of out of time for your presentation.
Okay. I just a quick one. I think one question you already answered about is that if I miss any research or studies. So I've noted that. If I want to get, if with this, what I'm building now, am I possible to get, seek for funding and so on and so forth? Is that am I with this, am I able to go for it? I mean, that's my question.
Likelihood of this project funded is very low for exactly the reasons that I told you, because it's such a crowded market, and investors don't like to invest in markets that are that crowded.
Okay, noted.
So you can, my hunch is you can build in, going to geographies where you are comfortable, Malaysia, Indonesia, those kinds of geography. I'd advise you against the UK actually. But if you focus on Malaysia, Indonesia, and Cambodia, those kinds of markets, you can possibly build a decent bootstrap business. But I wouldn't go into markets that's like the US, UK, where the markets are crowded.
Okay, noted. Sure. Thank you.
Okay. We're going to move to Tapa Sharkar.
Yeah, hi Shona, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you?
You're working on?
Yeah, I'm Tapas from Mumbai. Basically, I am from sales management, where I'm having 8 years experience till now. So I'm just going with my presentation. The next slide, please. Yeah, the business which we are focusing, that actually since 1.5 years I'm working on a project for the higher education segment, where we found few problems with colleges and student communities, where we are going to provide a platform for students where we will address all their issues while going for higher education. And these are basically our target customer like universities, institutes, and coaching centers, which is in India is a very, very big market. Next slide, please. In our research, we have found few pain points from the user perspective. When I'm talking about users are the students when they are looking for their education. In India, we have more than 33,000 colleges and 700 universities and 1 lakh coaching centers for higher education. These numbers are increasing by 8.7% annually as per the Charity Ministry of India. What exactly happens for the students when they are going for the professional courses like MBA or BTech or any other professional courses? There is no such platform where they can find perfect information about that college, that which college is good for me or which college is bad for me or it is not perfect. In terms of fee or placement or fee, whatever. And there are also not a single way where they can get the feedback from the colleges, that if I ask the college that what about your college, they will say yes, it's very good. But there is no other media where we can get exact information. And as I said, there's a lot of colleges, 36 colleges, 36,000 colleges and 700 universities. So there are a lot of options. Because of that, students get confused, where should I go? And what we exactly found is, when a student is going for any kind of education, like if I'm taking admission for a XYZ college, if I want to take some feedback from the alumni who have already studied earlier, but there is no forum where they can get exact information. And all these problems which we have found, and we are trying to build a solution. For the users, what we are going to do this for listing model, which we will have for the colleges, we will list all the colleges or institutes into our portal. And this listing will be totally a verified kind of listings, where we will verify the college details from respective authorities like AICTE or GC, their regulations. Based on this, we will find out all this information that these colleges are set up properly. And on the virtual tour, we are going to provide a virtual tour to the college. Like any student can find out what exactly college is, how much the space is, and what are the facilities college is going to provide. And we are also going to take last 3 years of placement data from the colleges, that what are the companies who came earlier, what are the placement strategy, and what are the how many people they have placed, and what are the normally the packages companies are offering to that college students. And also we are going at creating a platform like forum, which is going to be very useful for the students. In today's scenario, if I talk about, there everywhere, every student are using Facebook for the just for the entertaining and just to connect with the people. But if I talk about the student perspective, there is no such forum where they can discuss their education related things, or they share their thoughts, or they can tag something. So these are the things which we are going to provide. In the forum, we are also going to provide a very important part, that is alumni wala part. If a student who is going to take admission into a particular college, they want to know that how this college is, what are the feedback from the alumni. We are going to provide those data onto our portal, into this forum section, where people can get to know from this particular college that how this college was, how it is beneficial for me. One of the best thing is this forum is going also to create a very good network for the students, where they can use it for their career perspective. Let's say, I've give an example. I took admission and I'm connected with my seniors who already studied earlier. After completing my course, I would have a proper connection with my seniors, where I can connect with them. I can try to find out a particular job that in my stream, that's what can I do. And it is also going to help for the internships also. And last one product we are going to launch, that is the transaction module with the colleges. We found that all the colleges who are in this segment, they are providing MBA or BTech or any professional courses, they are not exactly putting a proper admission process, because they want to just get admission. That's it. And because of that, as per Indian Ministry data, we have got information there every year there is 35% seat gets vacant, just because they don't show their credentials properly. They are not able to follow the process because they want admission, and there are number of colleges and students are not that much. Because of that, this particular problems are facing by the users. Next slide, please. Now, if I'm coming to the pain points of institute for coaching, there is a communication gap between students and institute. They are not able to provide those information because there is no such particular platform. And the colleges are not able to show their credentials because they are not getting that particular forum or that particular place where they can show all this information. No, each and every college are having their websites. They are updating their information about the alumni, but there is not all the alumni who are going to put their ranking into this. The solution which we are going to provide, we are going to launch a particular product, that is transaction module, which is going to be a universal admission process for all the colleges. We are going to make a system where we will get the information from the students, like their education background, what they want to do, what is their perspective of the future. Based on all this information, we will give them a list of colleges which is suited best for as per the credentials. Based on this, we will tie up with this all the education institutes and colleges. Based on this per admission basis, per enrollment basis, we will charge them. And one thing, that is forum, which I talked about this particular thing, which is going to play a very major role in the coming future, like it is going to help for the alumni or the placement, etc. In this segment, as I said, that there is more than 35,000 colleges are there, 700 universities and lakhs of coaching, which is increasing by 8.7% annually. We have got some information from the HRD Ministry that by 2020, India will need more 800 universities and more 35,000 colleges to cater this need of 35% young population of India. And one of the best things of this industry is not very much affected by the recession. Yes, sir, please. Our customer acquisition plan is we are going to list these colleges and their courses into a portal. For the first year, we are not going to charge them. Second, the colleges will subscribe as a transition module, as I said, that we will put a contract with them and we will take a particular agreed number for the enrollment of a particular calendar year, and we will do the billing accordingly. Along with it, we are creating a college profile into a forum, and whatever enrollment will happen in these particular colleges, those students will be listed into a forum where students can start leveraging the benefits which I told you earlier. And we are also working on 20 more products, because the forum part which we are creating, this is going to be a very large network for the students, and there are a lot of target customers we can target. So we are working on the 20 more products which can make so that we can just tap this whole segment of the education segment. We have done quite research. We met with some colleges, like 15 to 20 colleges we met, and around 50 students we have done some survey with them, where we have found that each colleges are very much comfortable with the transaction module. Why? Because the colleges, normally what happens in India, there are a lot of, if I talk about the 35,000 colleges, there 5% colleges will be branded. Apart from that, rest 95% colleges who are just fighting for to fill their seats. What they are doing, they are just tapping it, tying up with the agents. Agents are not giving particular or proper information to the students because they want commission on the admission basis. So they are not giving a proper information, because of that students are facing problems. So we are getting a very good response from the colleges, as well as for the forum part, we have got a tremendous response from the users, because we, into our research or into a survey, we put up a very first question that, are you comfortable with other social media platform or not? Where I found a very good response that 40% people have said yes, and rest 30 to 35% people are saying moderate. So that is a very good response. Apart from 8th grade colleges, as I told you, transition module is going to very big thing for us. So I just want to ask few things, not much. First thing, I actually am going to have a meeting with angel investors. So I just want to understand that what kind of things they normally look for.
Angel investors are going to want to see a business that is launched, in my experience these days. You know, they want to see that you have already launched this, and you've got some, you know, customers already around the table, and you know, these 15. Well, how long? What do you need? How long do you need to get this launched with the 15 colleges and their, you know, supply chain essentially, of the student body? How long do you need to get something going?
The portal is on process of design, and it will complete by 1.5 months max. And we will start focusing on the market in 2 months of time, and we will start getting people.
So my guess is you can, if you meet with angel investors now, they'll probably want to wait till you have launched that and have got some customers already lined up.
Okay.
My advice to you would be to not take angel investor meetings until you have done that. It's going to be kind of a wastage of time. You can meet with them, but I think until you, and you need a lot more work here. You know, an investor pitch, you don't have an investor pitch yet, and you need to pull an investor pitch together that covers a lot more than what you've presented here. What you've presented here is kind of like the idea and the way you're thinking of building this product, but there's lots of things missing, like missing the TAM analysis. If you do the self-assessment, for instance, on the 1M1M website, you will see the kinds of questions all investors are going to ask you, and you need to be able to answer those questions.
Sure.
Okay.
I just would like to also understand that how you like this idea exactly.
I think there's merit in the idea. This problem of, you know, second tier, third tier, fourth tier colleges not being able to find students and students not being able to figure out where to go, especially the lower grade students. If you can solve that problem and do that matchmaking, that I think is an interesting idea. What I don't know, because I haven't presented that analysis, is how big a business can you build here?
Okay.
That analysis is vital for any investor to gauge whether or not to invest in the business.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank
you, Tapush. We're going to move to Dege Nzoki. Dege, you're up
Hello,
next.
everyone. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Well, thank you very much for allowing time. And I think I just need to provide a little bit more information regarding where I'm dialing in. I'm currently in San Diego. I just realized that I'm not providing that information on the slide. All right. So I have put together just a little sentence to set the stage. Here it goes. Life is like a play where we are our own protagonist. And sometimes in life, you have those characters that comes and goes, but you still are the master of your own story. But what is very interesting is that just like in a dramatic play, you may meet one person in your life that can change the whole story. And with this outline, I would like to present to you the Kensho tree. So next slide, please. I will take the next 10 minutes to talk about the startup, the market, the problems, our proposition, as well as the business model, the channel, and just a little sample on the minimal viable product. So Kensho tree is a platform that matches coach with people and companies, and also manages a community of users. I had highlighted in bold the different segments that we are addressing. So there is a business-to-business segment, the coach and the companies. There is the coach and the people, which is the B2C, and the community, which is the P2P. Next slide, please. So when we address the coaching market and we look at the data from the International Coaching Federation, we see that it is a $2 billion business. This data is dated 2012, but we know that the industry is growing year and year rapidly. Next slide, please. When we break down this about $2 billion in sales revenue from 2012 into geographies, we can see that the US and Europe are the most mature market. Next slide, please. When we talk to those agents who are the coach, and we talk to the client who use coaching, we have identified several pain points. Some of those pain points I've retrieved from the analysis from the ICF, and some of those pain points I just came out from our own research. So number one, there is no regulation in the market. So that makes it quite complicated, to refer one coach to the other if you don't have like the personal experience yourself. Number two, it's a pretty recent market, about 60 years in the making, which means that, differentiation when it comes to selecting which coach is best for you is kind of hard, because there's still a bit of confusion in terms of, okay, what's the coach role? some people misunderstand coaching and consulting. What type of coaching do I need? And researching on those elements can be quite labor intensive. Third point is marketing to corporation. You have a very good coach out there in the market space, but they're not necessarily a very good salesperson. So when, for instance, they have to pitch to an organization, most of the time they don't overcome the first step, which is just having a credible story. Last point is the reputation of the market. That can be prejudiced because you don't need to have a formal training to become a coach. Coach comes from very different walks of life with very different background, but there needs to be some kind of code of conduct or code of practice that every coach can abide to. That makes it easier for the consumer to make the right decision. Next slide. So what we offer is a platform that provides the following activities, so access to the knowledge base, engagement with the different coaches, connect with the coach which you deem appropriate to serve your need, and collaborate. So these factors create a network effect where using this centralized, affordable, and on-demand knowledge base, you empower both the coach and the companies. Next slide, please. So our revenue model is really driven by value. When you look at what is the current model in the market space, it's agent broker kind of market where companies may use a panel of coach in-house, or they may use an agent out there who has a pool of, 10 coach, or a website who has a coach who register, and the website takes like a commission on the transaction when they place a coach to an organization. And the idea is that we want to bring more value into this, because when we have our conversation with the suppliers who are the coach and the users who are the companies, we understand that from the company perspective, they would like to get a little bit more, I would say, flexibility when it comes to the sourcing and getting a better price point whenever they make a acquisition of a coach. And on the other hand, coach would like to have a cheaper way to do customer acquisition. So if we can address those two pain points without, having this agency commission model, we will bring values in both hands. So what we offer is a choice for the customer, where they can subscribe to 3 subscription plans. So in the marketplace, you have short-term engagements, which are coaching sessions which run up to, let's say, 3 months. You have just a standard engagement, which can last between 3+ months to up to 6 months. And you have long-term engagements, which are more than 6 months. So we offer 3 different subscription plans based on the different kind of coaching that the people are willing to offer. There are 3 levels of service agreements, which are tied into this short, mid-term, and long-term engagement that the people can opt in or opt out. And as they work with us, they gain points in our loyalty system, and those points can be used either to get additional recognition, additional client referrals, or when it comes to companies, access to additional service from our portfolios.
And how do you get paid?
So I get paid through the subscription model, and we have a standard fees. So if you want to pay as you go, it's $29. If you will contract with us for 3 months, it's $59. And if you take the year subscription, it's $199.
Okay, then how do the coaches get paid?
The subscription goes both ways. The coach only pay for the subscription and for a positive matchmaking, which goes something like this. Let's say you subscribe for a month, so you pay $29, and during that month,
for the coaches or for the customers?
It's both ways. It's both ways. Both customers and coach pay a standard fee.
I see. So they're paying a standard fee, and then the matchmaking, whatever matchmaking happens on the system, you don't charge additional for that.
We have a grace period, which is for the first year as we launch the company. There will be no transaction fee because we're trying to build a customer base. And next year we will establish a transaction fee for successful matchmaking.
So
but the first year it's free.
The marketplace business model of a commission of transactions.
It's different because we have identified what is the value that we bring into the matchmaking. Because a coach will argue if the coach lands a client of 10K, or if the coach lands a client of 1K, the coach will really argue with the broker that says that, yeah, on the one hand, I take a 10 commission check, let's say, okay, you have to pay me $1,000, and on the other hand, if you bring a customer of 1,000 value, you have to give me $100. So I don't really think that the coach is kind of happy to say that, well, you brought 10 times more value where the coach actually did the work. So what we have established is that, okay, the value that we bring is really in lowering the cost of the sourcing for the customers, which are companies, and providing a channel which expose the coach to more clients, making his customer cost of acquisition lower. So what we've captured from that is a percentage of the estimated lifetime value, because when you look at the cost at the coaching business, it's a referral business where 80% of the time when the coach and the clients have a successful relationship, there is a repeated business. So what we've done is that we've annualized the value of that relationship and derived what we deem to be our part in bringing those two customer and buyers into a matchmaking deal.
Oh, you have to try it. This is, the more complicated you make it, the harder it is to scale.
I agree. So in summary,
the more complicated your price, the harder it is to scale a business.
Sure, but to make it easier, in summary, there's 3 different subscription plans, okay, up to 3 months, up to 6 months, and more than 6 months, and there's 3 price points, which reflects, the money that the transaction is valued.
Yeah, but your transaction fees are very complicated.
Okay. So our go-to-market strategy starts with, a conversation that we have in networks. Those networks are schools, coaching institutions, as well as professional networks, where we have strategic partners who already have that engagement with the potential buyers. And through that conversation, which takes place like in a 15 minutes survey conversation, we identify the targets, and then we push our message to convert the prospect into a client. So it's pretty much identifying the target, engaging with the target through the different platforms that we have. So we do mostly Facebook, as well as our webpage. And as we build more content, we want to use additional channels to convey the message out there. And that's our approach to go to our customers. So the minimum viable product right now, it's a placeholder, but this webpage gives some content in terms of what we are doing.
When do you have this ready?
It's already live.
When do you expect to have the MVP ready?
End of it's going to be before June. Because right now, what we have is a portal that gives some kind of outline in terms of what we do, and just the initial registration for both coach and client. So there's a lot of potential in that market. we initially start with focusing on leadership coach, but then we want to expand into management, corporate trainers, and well-being coaching, and looking at nutrition and other form of coaching. So that's it.
All right. Do you have any questions?
Yes. So my questions actually have 3. So let me just get back to them.
I don't see a slide with your questions, so.
Yeah, I want to use the, there you go. So what is the best way to raise capital at this stage, in terms of financing? Second question is, recommendations and guiding principles in terms of, selecting partners and bringing partners on board. And when it comes to, partnership, what's the trade-off in terms of, should I give equity into the corporation, or should I maybe, give an incentive which is more tied to kind of a bonus and money as I expand the business?
So in terms of capital, your project is too early for any kind of professional investor. At this, typically the investors who are willing to invest are friends and family investors, or you have to bootstrap. That's pretty much what we see in the market. Once you get a bit further and start getting some traction, there will be opportunities to raise capital. Partners for startups, I don't know. It depends on what partners you're talking about, and this is a too open-ended question to answer in 1 minute. As far as equity is concerned, right now, given the fact that you don't have a lot of cash resources, pretty much the only way you would be able to get talented people into your company is by doing equity deals.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, the last presenter today is Dushyant Parekh from Ahmedabad, India. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Sarvana. This is Dushyant.
Hello. Go on.
Hello.
Please go on.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Well, that's all about the social project that I'm talking about. And we have been in business for about 10 years now. And we have been interacting with rural India. That's how we came up with this project. Yeah, next slide. Basically, the buyers that we are looking at is the genuine artisanal product buyers who have been dying for getting a customization and who would love to generally buy directly from the artisans. Transparency, too, has been found to be an important thing. They are looking at a low cost. Ideally, they prefer that they don't want to go through the shops and the chains, and they want to see a level of satisfaction. That is, for the product that they buy, they really want to know whom they have been purchased from and from where it comes from. Yeah, next. Today's industry is actually, I would say, almost 95% of the art and craft that gets sold either in New York or anywhere in the world, in all the prime cities and even all the cities, are out of stock. So the industry carries a huge cost in terms of carrying the stocks and possibly carrying even the dead stocks. That's one of the major problems in industry, which we're definitely trying to solve in our model. Then second is the target customer who favors artisan really doesn't know whether the money is getting paid to the artisan or not. And they always have a problem in terms that if they want their color, theme, or size, they don't get it. This is particularly what we found in Japan, that customers who really look for customization, they are really not being so happy because they have to buy whatever is available and make a fitment. The Creative Hands here is trying to provide a service in terms of a high-value arts and crafts, like painting, marble carvings, and there are a horde of list others which are not really put in here. And but basically focusing on the non-perishable areas and a lot of other things. Next slide. What we are looking at in the model is that we are trying to excite the artisans by giving them a direct linkage to the world through our platform and giving them a direct access to the customer. Now, for the customers, what we are looking at is we already have a current clientele because we are working with Ralph Lauren, we are working with a lot of fashion brands all over the world, and this is what we have been doing it for all our life. So we know them, and we have this top designers and the top people, those who have worked with us, or those who have worked with these design houses. So we do have a good word of mouth as of today. We have extremely good community linkages through the ethnic groups, with which is another major part of the strategy. What I really mean here is a lot of groups who meet on social purpose and who would love to give back to the country. Then other is we would be attending to the major fairs in the major destinations in the world like New York or Italy and other regions. We also are working on promotion to students and NGOs. Now this is what we have interviewed a few students in US, we have interviewed a few students in Europe, and we have been finding that students are definitely interested in doing a social activity whereby they could be getting a certificate and they could be posting it up as a part of their career goals. And we are also looking at working with non-government organizations who would then be promoting us because it's a give and take for them. Now, our goal of service is the most important thing that we are offering, which is very different, is the transparency with low cost, and that is one of the major part of the acquisition strategy. Next. What we did is before starting anything, which Creative Hands in real sense has not been started, but we did a beta model that is from our current company, that is HG Group. We started working with the artisans in UP, in Andhra, and in 2 other regions within India. So I would say if I'm talking about this year, we would have given work for at least more than a month to about 1,500 artisans who are in a rural setup, who are absolutely in a rural setup where I would say maybe cycles go. Now, if you understand, yeah, you know that part of it. We have done a sales turnover of about $100,000 US. This has gone to the top designers of the world and at the prices at which I wanted it. That is, it means whatever the customer wanted has been, whatever artisans wanted has been given to them in advance. The money has been given to them in advance. We have shown them how to make it, and we have taught them how to do it. So this has been successful to that extent. Now, fashion leaders like Island Fisher, Ralph Lauren, and other community leaders has liked the concept. This concept has been presented to them, and they have liked it as a model. We see Novika as our major competition, I would say, or the closest possible competition. And this is a website which has been created by National Geographic. When they started, they mentioned they'll be taking only 45% of the margin. But as of now, when we ask them, they are not ready to tell you exactly what margins they create. Now, this is exactly the problem in the arts and craft industry, that everybody wants to say that they are doing good for the artisan, but they are not saying how much good they are doing for themselves in the whole process.
So what, you know, what are you trying to accomplish with an Eileen Fisher or Ralph Lauren? Eileen Fisher, Ralph Lauren, these are big brands, right? So they're, for them to bring a product to market, they will need, you know, large numbers of units, and it's like a whole production line. They don't really do artisan products.
They are doing. I'm supplying just now. This $100,000 that has been done is done out of one of these brands.
And what is the product?
And that's why I did. The product is we have provided an artisanal hand-woven. We got a New Zealand wool. I imported it, got it dyed, gave it to the artisan. We got it woven in UP, which is a very special kind of weaving, which can only be done by hand. And then it was exported to Italy. The bags were made in Italy, and it is there in Manhattan just now. And it's been priced anything between $2,500 US to $4,500 US per bag.
2,000 US to 5,000 US per bag. So it's a wool bag that is being
It's not a wool bag. It has it replaces almost 80% of the back portion. It's been replaced by a woolen panel, which is it's basically, if you have seen the southeastern Mexican Navajos, that's what we have duplicated here. And we have been successful in doing that. They are very happy about it. And by this time, we would have done.
Let me understand this. You are identifying artisans with specific skill sets, and then you're getting the specs from an Eileen Fisher or Ralph Lauren or whatever designer, and then using this artisan workforce to hand manufacture these products.
Correct. If I put it in another simpler way, as of now, the entire arts and crafts industry works as per the whims and fancies of the artisan. Or I would say that the art and craft industry really doesn't guide the artisan. They make whatever they can make, they buy.
And most of the products they make do not fit the requirements of the market. They're not able to sell it.
Correct.
That's correct.
And then they get exploited and they get kicked on their, because they really don't get paid for it. And they really suffer. Now, we don't want them to suffer because I've seen artisans.
So keep going.
Sorry, yeah.
Let's go to your question.
No, before I go to the query, let me explain you what I really. So we have a proposal here is, I'm 53 just now. We are really not looking at putting up, we are here to bootstrap the entire project. So we are ready to put a IT platform, number one. Number two, we already talked with Art of Living and a few other NGOs, and we feel that there is an interest in helping to put the artisans' video and the data to us. So that is already happening. So now if I have a bunch of artisans that's already there with me, we see that customers should not be a major area. I'm putting Ralph Lauren and Eileen Fisher aside. Now I'm looking at individual customers like you, or for that matter, anybody in the world who could be looking at one artisanal product, who would come to our website, ask for a customization.
I much prefer your way, the way of scaling this business with the designers who can do large volumes. Because if you really are trying to create livelihood for large numbers of artisans, I've looked into this market actually quite a lot. If you want to, I much prefer your model of working with Ralph Lauren, and you may work with smaller designers if you like, but at least there's some volume. And finding these artists.
We're already doing it.
At all.
We're already doing in Italy. We're already doing in US. We're already doing in Japan. We're already there. We have even a wholesale down in New York who does the khadi business. But basically, my problem is, the problem that I'm trying to solve is there are small artisans all over the world who are doing wonderful job, like Tanjore paintings. Now, Tanjore painting takes a long time before it gets completed. Now, if this painting that has been made in a traditional way, nobody buys it. But if I am a customer here who says that, no, gentlemen, I'm staying in Japan, I have a window size of only, or I have a wall size of only 2 feet by 1 feet, and I want maximum money to be put in there, but I want this look to look different and unique. So these are the people who come to the platform. We code them. We take 2 to 3 days to code.
To create that is going to require significant marketing. To get any kind of scale on that model, B2C marketing, you're going to have to invest quite a bit.
See, NGOs and, okay, to be very specific, associations like Swadhyay Parivar and Art of Living followers, there are people, whole of people down there who really wants it and they don't get it, and who really prefer customization.
Work with those channels, work with those foundations, or those communities.
Right. Now what's my problem is getting the artisans. Number one, how do I really network these NGOs? If there's any other way that you can help me out on this.
Have you working with Rotary Foundation?
Sorry?
Have you worked with the Rotary Foundation?
No, I have not.
That would be a very good partnership for you to create. Rotary is it's a distributed network. You should look up Rotary. There's Rotary clubs that are everywhere, all over the world. Right.
Yeah, I'm aware of it, but I've never approached them. That would be a wonderful idea. Yeah.
They do lots of work in all sorts of areas. So if you go go network with the Rotary clubs in every city, and they also work. They have each of these Rotary clubs actually work with organizations in the rural areas and slums and so on and so forth. So wherever you can and you can find which ones have the right kinds of relationships that you are looking to find, these artisan relationships, and that would be a very good way, and you would find, you know, a group of people, because the Rotary clubs have large numbers of volunteers in their network already.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, that makes a great sense. That's exactly what we are looking at. And second is, how do you think this business can go global? Because I'm just not looking at artisans in India, because I've got people down in India, clients in India who really...
Your piece working before you try to go global. You know, I would first get the India model working and scaling before you go elsewhere, because India is a very large geography. And then, by the way, just to complete your thoughts on complete my thoughts on the artisan issue, you know, there are pockets of places in India where there are large numbers of artisans, right?
Correct.
If you look at, you talked about UP, Lucknow definitely has a specialized skill set, which is around chicken and all that stuff. And I imagine that's what you're using to weave these Navajo stuff, right?
No, it's another kind of a weave altogether.
Okay, but nonetheless, there is a very large weaver community of that kind of, you know, variations on that kind of art.
Absolutely.
To have a
but we are still looking at scaling up much into a higher value than that. For example, if you go to the Ralph Lauren's main office, then the carpet that is woven there, which is so delicate and so nicely done, we are doing even silk carpets at the moment.
Kind of, you know, Ralph Lauren, the carpet that Ralph Lauren is going to buy is not going to be some fake weaving carpet. They're going to buy carpets that are, these are old carpets, Persian rugs and stuff like that. So that's a very different business. I would go into the products that these, so every designer in the world, every designer in the world is looking to differentiate. And if you can bring them capabilities for differentiation using your network of artisans and bring that unique perspective, unique designs, uniqueness, and especially something that is handmade and all of that stuff, that is the positioning that I would go with. So work with designers, get lots of, if you can get, you know, 100, you know, good solid designers with some business, you know, established business and established clientele, established brands out there to start working with artisans, then backfilling on the artisan side is not impossible. I have a lot of contacts in the fashion business, by the way.
Oh, that's
because
wonderful.
I've run a company earlier on in my career. In terms of communities to tap into in India, Shantiniketan, for instance, in Bengal is a community full of artisans. That's a community you should tap into. Especially there is very specialized embroidery capabilities, weaving capabilities over there. Similarly, Gujarat, where you are, is a major artisan community. Rajasthan is a major artisan community. So if you can find pockets of artisans in each of these communities and pair them up with let's say 100 designers, let's just complete that model first. Identify 100 designers, build relationships with them, build the artisan community around them, and just prove that model out. And then, you know, we can revisit how to go global and all that later, but first get the basics going.
But then that means that the small single artisans who can do, who takes 6 months or 2 months to make a product, who really needs the help and who are really losing out of business, that's what I was really trying to focus to help them by putting this model up. I mean, that other model does continue, trying to do the bulk business for the major clients. That definitely continues.
Well, where you will be able to make the maximum impact is where I would go first.
Okay. I understand.
You can't solve every single problem in the world. You have to, my theory or the way I go about life is I find where I will be able to add make the maximum impact, and I go do that.
Perfect. No, this is already happening. We have 1,100 people working in Andhra. We have got 200 people just now working in UP. So that's already happening, in fact. So
I would scale that. If that's the thing, if you figured out how to do that, I would scale that significantly. Like if you can get, you know, 50,000, 100,000 artisans engaged in this mode and working with, you know, top-notch designers around the world, that would be a fantastic accomplishment.
No, that's already. We have completed 1,000 bags with Ralph Lauren. Now that's the figure that is definitely commandable considering the price.
The grand scheme of things, 1,000 bags is very small. It's a validation of your model, but scaling that to millions is a very different order of challenge.
So that's just one area of the artisan. The point is that's just one area of the artisanal product. There are many other areas of artisanal product which we are yet to touch upon.
Right, but you have to choose a product area that scales.
Right.
And the thing about the fashion industry, the reason I like your choice of the fashion industry is that has the dynamics, the characteristics, and the parameters of being able to scale.
Correct. Yeah, and in fact, we are already doing khadi as of now, which I have not included here, and which we already have a retail. We are already there in about 70 stores in US just now.
Yeah, so that's I would kind of stay with that business and really see how big an impact you can make on the artisan community, and get that going.
Okay. Okay.
Get that to millions, and then we'll revisit other opportunities. But that's the one to scale for the moment.
Right. Right. So for me, it's immediately the challenge is to find, as you suggested, Rotary Foundation and a few more who can really help synergize the other artisanal products as well. Because everything is not what Ralph Lauren is going to buy.
Right, exactly. You need artisans whom Ralph Lauren is willing to work with, exactly. And for that, you have to go to the communities with specialized expertise, like the Lucknow, like the Shantiniketan, like the...
No, it's the other way around. Ralph Lauren cannot buy everything. So now we need to really see more artisans.
Other designers. Exactly.
Right.
There's actually a woman in Gujarat, in Kutch, Nana Koshmedier. She has created this bandhni scarf business, and her scarves are distributed in all the museum stores all over the United States, and I think all over the world actually, and a lot of these artsy fashion stores.
Right. How do you name that person's name?
Nana Koshmedier.
Okay.
Her husband is an artist. All right, so that's a good discussion. I hope you can take it forward from there, and
sure.
I will
spend
the next 10 minutes explaining to you how we work in 1M1M, and if you decide that you want to get our help, we'll be very happy to help you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I have personally I have a lot of questions for what you're doing, so and a lot of contacts. It would be a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
All right, folks, if you like what we're doing here in 1M1M, my humble request to you is to please spread the word and introduce serious entrepreneurs into 1M1M. Our mission of helping 1 million entrepreneurs get to $1 million and beyond in annual revenue will only happen if we can get serious entrepreneurs who have the tenacity to really do these very long marathon journeys of building companies seriously and diligently. So we are constantly looking for these entrepreneurs. So let me just walk you through the resources and how we work. Everything begins, in terms of your exploration, everything begins at 1mby1m.com. That's our website. We have a terrific blog, and it's all free, so you can continue following the blog and learn a lot from that alone. And then we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, of which we have 12 books so far, and that's also a very, very low price entry point into the 1M1M program, the thought process, the methodology, and so forth. So go look at Amazon Kindle, and you will find every single book available there. In addition, so on the website, you will find tons of videos. And these videos will help you understand the 1M1M program better. This is what the website looks like. We have these roundtables every Thursday morning. So all of April, we have roundtables. All of May, we have roundtables. Most of June, we have roundtables. Actually, all of June, I think we have roundtables. So most of the time, we are here. We are happy to help you think through your challenges. Come and use the program. We've had thousands and thousands of people using this program for a long time now. If you want to register to pitch or to attend, the roundtables, you need to go to the free public roundtables page on the website and register. That's important because, as you can imagine, these slots fill up. You know, for today's roundtable, for the 5 pitch slots, we had something like 32 registrations. So we're going to schedule everybody in upcoming sessions, but please do book your slot. Then we have the one-on-one and premium program, which is where we do the much more hands-on help and you know, guidance. So that program is a $1,000 annual membership fee. It's renewable. We have no notion of graduation. You can continue to use the program for as long as you feel you're getting value out of it. And we offer you extensive methodology guidance. We have a terrific curriculum of learning that helps you learn how to put one foot before the other in building a sizable business. We help you with business development, lots of connections. And we help you with this kind of consulting, but much more in depth, because in the premium program we have a lot more going on and lot deeper discussions going on. And then if you are in a fundable state, we will help you diagnose, we will help you build your funding pitch deck and everything, and then we'll help you with introductions to investors so that you can go through and close your financing. And we also help you with media relations. The $1 Million Club on the website will give you some examples of case studies of entrepreneurs in the program who have reached $1 million in annual revenue. We give you an ROI analysis of the program. That's a $375,000 worth of cash plus 5 to 10% of equity worth of value for just $1,000. We do not take equity. So all this is available to you for just $1,000 annual membership fee. It's a very, very high value program. How to use one-on-one effectively gives you orientation of how to use the program, and it's like a gym membership. So we will give you all these resources, but you'll have to go do the workouts so that you can get in shape. So it's an entrepreneur gym, you could say. The one-on-one self-assessment, as I said, is something that you should use to gauge your current situation, calibrate. These are the questions investors will always ask you. And especially if you're going for investment, this is something you should definitely run yourself through. This is what there's a ton of material on the premium program that you should dig around and study to see if this program is for you. And if you decide to join the program, there's lots of video FAQs. If you decide to join the program, we are here to work with you. And we've been doing this for over 4 years now. It's a proven program. We have a lot of success. So we know exactly how to help you in a very meaningful way. We will make a real difference to your business if you follow the program and do what we suggest you do. Now, in terms of the curriculum, this curriculum has been built over a 10-year period. We started doing case studies of successful entrepreneurs since 2006. And today, we have over 600 successful entrepreneurs who have been in this case study program, who have very generously shared what they have learned, what they advise entrepreneurs to do, and we've put it all together in a really powerful curriculum that is taught in core and electives, and it's all video lectures plus case studies. And we are getting tremendous value out of this curriculum today. The core curriculum has 7 major topics and tons of subtopics underneath. Bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building are the core modules. And then electives, you have Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, markets, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education. We even have a module called Building Unicorn Companies. So we have a bunch of different modules where you will find specific help on specific industry segments where we see a lot of action today. Our methodology is bootstrapped, lean, capital-efficient startups. And even if you raise money, the philosophy is bootstrap first, raise money later, and that's where you get the maximum leverage in the market and the maximum success. This is methodology that is proven methodology, and it's what the market is responding and resonating with the most. As I said, we help you with a lot of coverage as well. So we have great clouds in the media, and we'll be able to get your word out. If you go to our press page, you'll find coverage of 1M1M Premium members. We also let you access our social media channels. I have over 100,000 or close to 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, over 30,000 followers on Facebook, Twitter. Our blog is very well read. So we have all these social media channels that we will let you access to get the word out there. We also have the 1M1M affiliate program. So if you are an entrepreneurship development organization anywhere in the world, and if you would like to work with us, we will be very happy to work with you as a partner. The next few free roundtables are basically all Thursdays in April. We have roundtables, so please book your slot if you want a slot to present. Vision India 2020 is the 13th book from our 1M1M house. It's a book that has $45 billion business ideas, mostly ideas that will mostly resonate with the emerging markets. And it's written as business fiction set in 2020, looking back on building these businesses. So it's got a lot of strategy and details worked out, and the goal of this book is to help you ideate. So if you haven't yet zeroed in on what project you're going to work on, this is a book that will potentially help you ideate, and especially if you're working on emerging market ideas. We also have a program called the 1M1M Incubator in a Box that we use to work with a lot of our corporate partners especially, but it could be used for other kinds of partners as well, to run their incubation programs. That could be entrepreneurship, it could be community incubation, but it's basically corporate incubation projects that we do using the Incubator in a Box program, and we have a number of partners. So once again, the books that we are currently working on are $1 Billion Unicorns, Carnival in the Cloud, Bootstrapping with a Paycheck, and From E-Commerce to Web 3.0. These are the 4 books that have been released recently in the last about 9 months or so. Of course, the whole roster of 12 books on the Entrepreneur Journey series are going to be valuable for you. You should look at the whole series and see where you want to double-click down. Unfortunately, we do not have a lot of time for Q&A. I will, however, since we haven't had roundtable for a couple of weeks, I will offer you a few minutes extra time if you would like to ask questions. So if you want to call in, please let us know in public chat that you would like to call in, or you could also ask questions in public chat. So Tapas Sarkar, have you got the answer to your question? I just explained how we work. So if you want additional mentoring, you will need to join the premium program, and you're very welcome to do so. Any of you who would like to get additional help from the 1M1M program, from me, from the team, you're very welcome to join the program. Does anybody have any other questions? If not, we'd like to wrap up. It's already been over 90 minutes, so I don't want to keep you for much longer. Just one quick introduction. If you have questions about the 1M1M program, please feel free to contact Irina Patterson on the 1M1M team. Her email is irina@1mby1m.com. She would appreciate if you email her first, and then she'll be also happy to talk to you on the phone or on Skype. Her phone number is 786-301-2456. You could schedule a time to talk to her. That's pretty much it. Dharma wanted to ask about mentoring, which I have answered already. Dharma, if you, if you're welcome to join the program. If you have further questions, feel free to contact Irina. All right, folks. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for coming today, and we look forward to seeing you again next week at the next public roundtable. Bye-bye.